It is December 12th, 2023. We've been waiting all day for the results of the UN session and meeting, and it looks like the results are coming in, trickling in, but it has been the consensus that there is a ceasefire agreement in the UN. Now, there's some delays that will take us into the December 15th, um, whether or not that is a date that we should be looking forward to. It has been agreed, and there's more information coming out as we speak, as they are still in session. Now, they went after hours at the COP28 UAE meeting agreement on climate change and some other things. So there's information that's coming out about that separate meeting. But it's interesting. Today's been a particularly interesting day as information has been rolling out as we speak. It's trickling out, as I said earlier. What's important is, and I kept thinking as I was ready to go on air here, is is this the fulfillment of Daniel 9:27, or is this the fulfillment of Psalm 83? What will happen here from this point on? We can only speculate. Um, there's a couple things that been floating through my mind, but to get grounded in the Word is probably the best place to start. So let's leave it at that point. We have to stay grounded. I my excitement is at its peak right now. Every time they say peace and security, I want to jump out of my skin. I can't help it because this is a fulfillment. Every time they say that, that fulfills the scripture and the word about peace and security. Then comes sudden destruction out of Daniel 9:27. We know, I want to say that Israel's probably not going to agree to this enforcement of the Gaza Strip, being that they want a ceasefire. So this, listening to TOL's live broadcast earlier, I have to agree with his commentary. It's probably going to go on for a while. Listening to other people on the Watchman on the Wall, and I'm just doing a report of what I hear. I would agree that it's probably going to take some time for this all to resonate. And as I said earlier, I knew yesterday what I already knew today, that this was going to be enforced and the UN was going to overturn the US veto in the resolution. So I already kind of saw that coming. Um, just been watching so much that you can kind of see where the cards are kind of falling into place. There's not much I can say because we're still in the progress area of watching this all take place. But like I said earlier, to stay grounded in the Word is probably the best place to stay. As far as the soon return of the Lord, it could happen at any moment. There doesn't have to be anything specific have to happen. That's what I've always been told and learned from my study. As much as I've learned in eschatology and the times I've been watching this all take place, I have learned through trial and error. I used to think that there had to be a sign or specific thing that has to happen, but that is not true. It doesn't have to be anything specific because of that quote in the scripture. It says, he will come like a thief in the night when no one's watching, basically. And tribulation begins after the return of Jesus Christ. So, um, what we know, the word called, the phrase Jacob's trouble, there's a couple things that I think have to lead up to the time of Jacob's trouble and the end of the church age, is that there has to be something that is significant that's going to bring about the building of the third temple. So I think there's going to be, in just my opinion, and this is just what I see happening, there has to be a buildup of some things for them to agree with Israel, agreeing with them to build the third temple. So I think there's a couple things happening right now that have to lead up to that point. Now, when that happens, I think then Israel will agree, and then the ceasefire will actually be a reality. Now, these are just opinions. I don't know if the ceasefire will actually be enforced, or this will just have to be something that'll be agreed upon with Israel on board. We shall see. We're watching these events take place as we watch and see. But if Israel does agree to a ceasefire, then we're looking at a very fast track on our way home. And that'll be the end of the church age. It'll be the beginning. I don't see this ending peacefully, but in order for peace and security and then sudden destruction happening, I don't know how this all will play out in the Daniel 9:27 scripture. I don't know how exactly this will all be laid out, but it's definitely there. It's all you hear. And when you see these things come to pass, stand up and look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. That's all I can say. Everything else is just so scriptural. Again, read Psalm 51 about how to be cleansed, and watch yourself in your conduct, how you conduct your life today. Thank you again for those of you who like my backdrop. It's better than being in the kitchen, by the way. I moved some things around so that I can be in the living room. And if you can tell, I'm in the Christmas spirit kind of mood too. And I like this backdrop a little bit better than being in the kitchen. I might use the kitchen from time to time, but I'm trying to stay in the living room and use this as a backdrop. But for the most part, my ring light only goes so far. So, but I'm hoping that I can keep doing these blogs in here and, you know, report back to you what I understand is happening at this point. But it's a lot to follow, it's a lot to grasp. But you want my final opinion? I think that the Lord's going to be coming very quickly, very soon. And like I often say, I wish he would have come yesterday, but today I just bought a blanket. And so I'm going to be warm tonight. And if the Lord comes, I hope I can take my blanket with me. Anyway, it's a warm blanket. So, but I think where we're going, it's paradise. So I don't know if we're going to need warm blankets there. I have a feeling it's really nice there. I don't know about you, but paradise is a better place than this cold place that we're at right now. Anyway, have a blessed evening. God bless you. We'll be watching, and I will report back to you if I see any changes or any news that's worth reporting back to you. In the meantime, have a blessed night. Good night.